Yeah! Kablam! Not today. Ouch! Ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's one for the boys back home. I'm afraid you have us at a disadvantage. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the Blue Wizard from the Vale Islands.
Forgive me. I can go on and on about the old days. My name is Spartacus Honoris. It is truly an honor to meet you, Blue Wizard.
Besides, you'll want this darling by your side. Anyone gets in our way, and I'll give him a good ripperoni.
Sorry. So sorry, Meryl. You called for me?
Come now, let us begin the third chapter of The Blue Wizard.
Yeah! Kablam! Not today. Ouch! Ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's one for the boys back home. I'm afraid you have us at a disadvantage. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the Blue Wizard from the Vale Islands.
Forgive me. I can go on and on about the old days. My name is Spartacus Honoris. It is truly an honor to meet you, Blue Wizard.
Besides, you'll want this darling by your side. Anyone gets in our way, and I'll give them a good ripperoni.
Sorry. So sorry, Meryl. You called for me?
Come now, let us begin the third chapter of the Blue Wizard.
Hey everyone. Make sure my camera's up right. There we go. Alright. Oh, a little bit down. There we go. Hey everyone, ultimacj here. Welcome to the live stream exclusive of Destiny of a Wizard 3 development Q&A. I hope y'all enjoyed the pre-show that I put together showing various features of the game that's going to be in, as well as some of the music samples and some of the graphic sets and a bit of the pictures and combat system. But let me go ahead and just 1 second to catch up on the chat real quick. And if you had any questions about the pre-show, what you thought about it, let me know. So when is Barbara Walters on their way, Mr. PB Marblart? At best, you can keep it PG-13, Tribbles. It's all good. That's the aim we're going for when it gets released to Steam. That's usually, borderlining PG-13 maybe. Well, Proud mode and Savage mode, that's going to be pretty much that's the equivalency. It's basically the hardest difficulty in the game. But the way I'm going to have it programmed is you have to beat the game first in order to do that, in order to unlock that. The other two difficulties, which in a few minutes, because I'm sure Mr. Colbold was curious, unless he's seen it already, that y'all want to see the official introduction to the game, the beginning storyline and the opening cutscenes, just a tad preview to find, hey, what happened since the second game? Like, hey, I got whisked away in the second world, and hey, rage quit. What the hell? You cut me off and cliffhanged it. So this will answer any doubts or questions and give you a little bit of taste. What happened to our Blue Wizard hero? Oh, cool. Hey, Sadie, I'm glad you were able to make it. I know you're doing a stream over there, but thanks for popping on in, and people get to hear your lovely, beautiful voice. That is you. Scassis asks, will I have to find signposts again? No, there's no signposts in Destiny of a Wizard 3. However, there's going to be two similar quests implemented in it. The first quest, which you unlock later on in the game, is similar to the signpost quest. You'll run into a ghost character who is trying to pass on to the next world, but in order for her to pass on, she was a famous, I guess you could say Twitch or YouTuber or whatever. I forget what I called it exactly. But someone who was famous for somebody watching, a famous, like a Twitch user. And she was off by 50 followers to get the 1 million mark. And so in order for her to pass on to the next world and feel complete, she asks you to find 50 people to follow her long lost live stream page. And so basically, the 50 followers is basically your 50 signposts. Is you have to find various characters and say, hey, follow this person. And if you find all 50 followers, you'll get a special reward in the end. The other quest I'm going to be implementing in, and I'm getting with the narrator on that one, is which I got this idea from another game. I want to pay tribute to it because I think it's freaking hilarious. It's from Trials in the Sky RPG game. And the way they do that is once you open the chest, you re-examine it, and it says something witty or stupid or insulting, like basically be a quest of like the chest is insulted. You came back to see if there's anything in there. It feels offended. So you might see something like, oh, you found the ultimate treasure, fresh air, and stuff like that. And there'll be a quest that you'll get later on in the game that the more you find of those, you'll get a reward for it. So that's the two collectathon type of quests that are going to be in the game. I'm not going to try to make it too complex. The treasure chest is just right there. Just make a mental note to re-examine it. That way you get your own good old laugh. Sadie, as for the voiceovers, I didn't want to throw all the voiceovers all at once at you, but if you want me to, there's about 50 more lines left to send. So if you want me to send all 50 at one time, I can do that. I didn't want to overburden you or any other voice actor. I typically, whenever I've done this in the past, I usually typically go 20 to 35 lines because I don't want to exhaust the person. Plus, doing do-over lines, and it does take a couple hours to do. I mean, with the session with David Kapperman, our narrator, it typically takes about 35 lines. Typically takes 2 hours because there's do-overs, there's do-overs, there's bloopers, there's goof-ups, that sort of deal. So it typically, you'd think 35 lines would take, well, I'm only reading 35 lines. No, it's a lot. And none of the people I have are really official voice actors, but they're more than just, which I've had happen before too, with David and a few others, like, okay, I got to read it again because, okay, do that voice line again, but, act it and not sound like a robot, like, hey, I'm just reading off a script. So there's also that. And sometimes either I'm not satisfied or, there's a process of, hey, are you happy with this? This is your character. It's like, no, let me do that line again. With the case of some other people who I can't do it in person, such an example of Sadie, she sends me various samples. And I pick the best ones, which I think I personally like, put them in the game, and then I play them. I make a short video, or we go into a call, and I show her those, and she tells me she's happy with that. If she's happy with it, then I'm happy with it. Because, it's a give and take situation on that. It's a 50-50. It's like, if I'm happy with it, then, yeah, I get with the voice actor. Are you happy with it? Because this is your character. You're portraying this character. This is who you are. So that's how those work. No, Cobalt Cultist, there's not going to be any tentacles. I'm not going that anime. I'm going anime enough as is with the Samantha character and her talking like a weeb here and there. And there's a lot of that in the game. It's hard enough to keep a straight face just like watching it, which give props to Stady if she's able to do that with a straight face and not botch the line by saying really quirky, stupid stuff. I mean, I know that's something some people do at a normal basis, but to act that out, it's like, oh, I can't say this with a straight face without laughing. Even I had a hard time laughing, keeping a straight face and not laughing. Well, yeah, it's you're basically helping follow this dead person. Like, yeah, it does sound a little weird if you think about it, put it on paper, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you're trying to help this ghost move on to the next world by, finishing her last deed because she was like 950 followers, and she's just missing 50 to hit the 1 million mark. But I see what you mean by that. Weekend for Bernie's, yeah. Do not want meme. Well, if you can give me an idea how I can put that in there and keep it at the PG level when I release it, sure. But really, when I could put a tentacle boss in there. I haven't, like I said, I haven't put all or enemies. I mean, the story is done, whatnot, but I haven't put all the monsters and stuff on in. So, like, as you can see in here, like, I have all my boss monsters and everything done on here. Like, you'll see all the bosses and everything as a preview, showing all the bosses because they're all placeholders. But I still got to put stats and all that stuff in there for them. So when that happens, what I'll do is and I also got to make an extra set because there's going to be a second difficulty level, like the normal. So like down here, because these are all the enemies and bosses, I got like a couple more I got to put in for the bonus content. But beyond that, below that, we'll have all your regular monsters. So I know I have squids and stuff like that, so might put something like that in there and put like some kind of suggestive theme in there, because I was pretty suggestive in the second game when you dealt with Melisande and her various tools of therapy with chains and whips and all that. I mean, that was borderline. Like something like this maybe could be used. I haven't really, mess with too much of the other than the battle sprites that I was using with. I haven't gotten. That's like the last phase, pretty much in the game, is putting all the monsters in there, and then putting their stats in, then the stats of the characters, and then play it test through all the way. I typically let monsters be the last thing because that is a lot of focus work. Because there's the way RPG Maker works is you have skills and stuff like that in here, and your formulas, and what type of damage it's going to do, and HP damage, MP damage, recover, drain, what kind of element, what the chances of success is, what kind of status alignments it's going to add. Even got y'all's favorite one in there, Toxic, but there's also going to be a couple new status alignments, such as Brain Dead Dread. Minty herbs will be buyable pretty much almost in the beginning of the game with an extra boost and buff, so I've made it a little bit more manageable. Well, Final Fantasy did it with an octopus, yeah, so I could do something like that. So if you want to actually see tentacles, yeah, okay, I can do something along the lines like that. But I figured what we'll do here is before we go into, I'm just going to show how maps are designed and made. I'm going to work on one of the maps on here because this is mostly map design. I have one monster here that kind of looks tentacle-ish. The Malbro. That dude. It's more of a plant than tentacles, but that's the closest thing I think I have. But that's the as in terms of monsters. But I figured since some of you may have not seen an introduction to the third game yet, this wraps up the second game. So this does give a little bit of spoiler if you've never played the second game. It pretty much tells what happened in the second game, especially up to a certain point where a certain live streamer rage quit because he did not like that ending. And that was intentional because I was planning on making a third game. Because I feel the same pain. I hate cliffhangers as much as the next person. And writing a story is the hardest thing in a game. I will say that. Of all the things, whether you have programming knowledge or not, writing a story is the biggest thing. And I knew what I was going into when I was making the third game. I just didn't know how I was going to approach it. Yeah, sure. Especially if you're not satisfied, or you could be satisfied and you want more and you're like, fuck, I'm done. Shit, I kind of felt that way a little bit when I finished Zelda. But certain games that I finished, or Persona 5, I guess would be another, or the Persona series, it was another game. But I've played a few games where I'm like, oh man, I'm done. I want to play more. What was another game I played? Plague's Tale Innocence. Really great game if you got... it's not the same gameplay or story, but it's got that same dark vibe like The Last of Us has. But I played that game so fast and beat it in like 4 or 5 days. I was like, man, darn, I'm done. I was the same way with Senua Hellblade. The experience was like, man, I'm done. I want to play more. And it's that kind of rage. Like, I'm not pissed. I'm just bummed. But you could be pissed. But I personally don't like cliffhangers, especially if I got to wait 2 or 3 months for a story to start up. And if the stream is coming in, is there any lag or you're not able to hear me or see the program, let me know. Because for me to get OBS to work with this, I had to do show your display, not game capture. It sees it, but it's not picking it up half the time because there's two different instances that are going on. This instance for the actual development engine, and then when I actually launch it, because a playtest mode goes up, and that shows also as well. Am I technically quitting? It depends if I'm going to play it again. So yes and no. There's certain games I'll play again, like Gabriel Knight, like once a year, or Fear, and a few other games that I enjoy playing that I've enjoyed the journey. I'm going to enjoy it again. So it's not technically I'm done. But it's just, I don't know. I guess every gamer is different. Every person's different. I don't know if I'll get that satisfaction of, I finished it, I'm done. And just, get that same like the first time you bite into a really good juicy burger, will I get that same experience again after experiencing it the first time? Simpsons did tentacles. Well, what season? Because I stopped watching after season 8. But I'm going to go ahead and shut up and disappear off here for you guys to enjoy the introduction. Would you like to all see that? See what takes place? And you can give me your thoughts on that, especially those who have played the second game. Like, oh, wow, I'm looking for... And I'm also going to introduce one of the antagonists, and you'll hear him as well. And I'm curious what your reaction will be to that. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get the introduction started, and you tell me what y'all think about it. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself here.
Welcome to Destiny of a Wizard 3, Beyond the World. Please select from the following options. Using your gamepad, keyboard, or mouse, guide your character to begin your journey. Use the Enter key or Action button left click to make a selection. Position the window of the game in window mode. Use your mouse to drag it around. Don't like the small window? Press the F4 key to enter full screen mode. Press the F4 key again to exit full screen. Come now, let us begin the third chapter of The Blue Wizard. Destiny of a Wizard, the story so far. After defeating Zara and Darklyn, our newly formed hero kept a promise to his father to spread his wings and travel beyond the Veil Islands. Our Sage of Light, the hero's mentor Lighten, charged our hero with journeying to the land of Luliza. It is here our Blue Wizard resumed his adventures. That, and Lighten wanted some sweet photos of future vacation spots. And so our Blue Wizard sailed off to the new distant Luliza in hopes to find new challenge and all the great stuff that comes with it. However, our hero's adventure was almost cut short as a mysterious being known as Reverend Frost appeared to destroy our Blue Wizard. The crafty Mr. Frost invoked a ritual that would utterly destroy our hero, but it proved to be super ineffective. While it didn't erase the Blue Wizard, ending the sequel prematurely, it did strip him of all his powers and shattered his equipment to the point of being undubiously useful. however, our blue wizard discovered through his travels that all of his shattered equipment was scattered throughout the world of Luliza. He journeyed throughout the lands of Luliza to restore his equipment and powers. Throughout his travels in this new land, he met many new friends, foes, and challenges. After recovering his equipment in the foreign land, our hero returned to his mentor Light to discuss how to mend his artifacts to their original form. Just like in his first quest, our blue wizard traveled to the 4 islands of the Vale. By meeting with the 4 elemental guardians of the Vale Islands, he would receive their blessings to restore his artifacts. After the long journey to become himself again, he discovered the evil Frost kidnapped Lighten and took him to the ruins of Zara's castle. Regardless of it being a trap, our hero traveled back to the depths of the castle to confront Frost one last time. After a battle with Frost, it seems he was reverse catfished. It was Zara all along. Our blue wizard was fooled, and Zara devised a new plan to resurrect Darkling. One final battle awaited our hero. He confronted Zara and Darkling one last time. After our dashing deliverer defeated the duo, Zara did the unthinkable and merged with Darkling to transform into the most evil Zarklin. Despite her attempts to take over and engulf the world in darkness, our hero successfully defeated her and emerged victorious. Her island was shortly torn apart afterwards, never again to be seen in future installments. Everyone celebrated the Blue Wizard's success. They all dined on cookies and other foods. They even had cake, and that's no lie. But the celebration was short-lived, as a mysterious portal whisked away our blue hero into another world. Before he had a chance to get a bearing on his surroundings, an unknown creature attacked him out of nowhere. After breaking off with our audience kept on the edge of their seats, what has happened to our blue hero? Our story now continues in this unknown scenario.
Ah, yes. It seems my master teleported you to the right spot. This world doesn't need another main character.
It seems you've been whisked to a foreign land. The biting cold creeps into your body, sucking away precious warmth. A stiffness sets upon you, making it difficult to move. You can barely see your surroundings as well. Whatever brought you here took out your fellow companions in the process, and they weren't wearing any red shirts either. The land here appears to be very barren. You can barely make out anything that would survive this harsh climate. There is also a towering monster looming above you. This looks like the vile fiend that took you and your companions out in the previous game. This monster grins at you menacingly. You feel an impending doom luring over you. This monster isn't here to share the local brown water with you.
You still have some life left in you? I'm impressed. The master is not wrong about you blue wizards. You will make Gordon a fine meal indeed. Or shall I say, the last remaining blue wizard.
Gord Knott paces back and forth, deciding what to do with you.
Can't move. Damn it.
Stay still while I decide how to cook you. I'm trying to order on CrystalNet. What spices should I marinate you with? Psh, the reception out here is terrible. Sprung isn't the best compared to other providers. Free is free, I suppose. What was that noise?
Gord Knott hears a noise. It sounded like a ruffle in the snow. Our hero can barely see what is going on.
Horned demon, you trespass on sacred Gridanian land. Prepare for battle.
The Holy Knight? What are you doing here? How did you find this place?
Gord Knott ponders this thought, but the mysterious knight does not hesitate as he makes another ferocious flurry of attacks against the foul fiend.
I did not prepare for this situation at all. Mark my words, Holy Knight, you have not heard from the last of Gord Knott.
Good. He's still alive.
The Holy Knight presses his hands towards you. While this feels almost awkward, a warm aura of healing surrounds you.
Healing hands may not be the most adequate incantation, but it'll get the job done.
Where am I?
Now is not the time. There are too many terrors that scour these lands. I know you must have questions, but we'll address those later. Can you stand?
You examine yourself. The Holy Knight has temporarily sealed your wounds. You nod your head to the man and thank him silently.
It's quite the distance to town. Follow me and stay close.
And there, my friends, is the introduction to Destiny of a Wizard 3. For the most part. I don't want to show anything more because that will just give you a little bit more of a spoiler, and I'd just, beyond that point. But that is the introduction to the game. Sure, my microphone's working. But thoughts and questions, feelings, whatnot. I would love to hear your opinion on that. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to go ahead and give away the first Steam key for Destiny Wizard 1. 1 and 2 are also on my page. Speaking of as well, I didn't get a chance to program it until today, but starting tomorrow, so if you aren't able to claim it in time, or someone beats you to the punch, Destiny Wizard 1 and 2 tomorrow will be 50% off. And I'll go ahead and I will post that. You go ahead, and I will go ahead because I don't know the exact one. Okay, it's this. So copy, and what we'll do. That's the first game, and of course the second game, which for those who want to, bookmark it for the sale tomorrow, because both are going to be 50% off starting tomorrow for 5 days. So, also, those who have never done it before, I'll give you a little heads up when the code shows up to activate a game on Steam. You basically are going to click activate a product on Steam. And then here you're going to paste your code in there and hit next. And if you beat them too, you're able to get in there fast enough, you'll be able to claim the first game for absolutely free. The first game is my very first RPG Maker when I first did RPG Maker series. So it's not, super fine-tuned because it's my first attempt at making a video game. But it's not sloppily put together like some RPG Maker games that you've seen out there, or just careful work was still put into it, but it's still rough around the edges because I was still learning how to, work on the project itself. Whereas Destiny, where I took everything from Destiny Wizard 2, from 1, and when I made 2, just add improvement features with hit or miss stuff, such as the chase scenes, which is gone from the third game. I don't know how I'm going to do enemies yet, whether they'll chase you down. Probably not. I'm probably going to have them move at different speed intervals. Some are blocking you where you're going to have to trudge through them. And at other times, they might go at an increased speed and approach you. But they won't relentlessly go chase you down. Nothing like that. As much as I would love to try to do a Secret of Mana style RPG, they have things for... people have, the infamous Mog Hunter has made something for that, but it is a lot of work. It's not the scope of the engine. It's very, very difficult. You're asking for a Zelda-like format. Now, when I down the road, whether it won't be Destiny Wizard 4, it'll be another game if I work on another project. I have Pixel Maker MV, which is made by the same people who did RPG Maker, and that allows various different formats, such as the top-down Zelda format or Secret of Mana, action-based. I'm going to play with that. I don't know if that'll be a guaranteed game or not, because I've never messed with the engine. I don't know how easy it is to program, whatnot. Whereas with RPG Maker MV, you either have side battle view or first-person view, like you saw in Destiny Wizard 2 and 1. And so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. So let me look at the chat real quick and catch up with it. RPG Maker doesn't support 4K graphics. Now, I've had some people, interesting enough, what Marblart says right here, or aka he's one of our voiceover actors. Waiting on some voices for you, buddy, because I need those soon. But aside from that, I have thought about. I've had a few people ask me to do that, will you make a remaster with the new with voiceovers of for Destiny Wizard 1? Will you remaster it into RPG Maker MV or I think it's called MZ, the next one? I've actually seriously thought about doing a remaster to now I know more about RPG Maker. Would that be something you guys be interested in me doing and working on? Because it will take some time to make a remaster, because I'm probably going to improve some features, with animation and enemies and stuff, and maybe even add some bonus features. I mean, it's not going to be clear cut and dry, but similar to Destiny Wizard 2, maps will be very similar to that of the first game, because you had two major halves in Destiny Wizard 2, where you had Elijah, which was like all new areas. And in the second half, which is literally the first game, except not the maps are exactly the same, but similar. So it'd be in that retrospect. And it would be a single player game, of course, as well, until you got to the bonus content. But the way I am doing these maps right here is for the bonus section. Its theme is I am basically asking RPG Maker to generate me a dungeon. I typically don't do this. The other dungeons I pretty much draw it by hand. Here I'm telling it to generate something for me. That way I get a base palette, and then I add to it afterwards, which I'm about to do in a second. So, adding walls and different floors and all that pretty stuff. Narrated by David Attenborough. Is that an actual person? I'm not familiar with Attenborough. The music, no, it's not Terra's theme, because unless I got Square Enix permission, if this was a non-commercial product, whereas it's not going to go on sale in any kind of way, sure, I could use any kind of music. I actually had, and I still do, not the source anymore, I deleted that, but I actually have an older version of Destiny Wizard 1. If you're interested, message me either on Steam or Discord, or send me an email at ultimacj@gmail.com. You can also contact me on Twitch on here with with Ultimate CJ Productions and on Ultimate CJ Facebook page. There's a non-commercial version, which I actually use music from various Final Fantasies, Valkyrie Profile, all kinds of games that were my favorite. Because when I first made the game, I had no intention of going commercial. When I went commercial, that had to be scrapped and the music had to be replaced, because, I can't use someone else's music without their exclusive permissions. So all the music you're hearing in the game from Destiny Wizard 2 and 1, that's all music that's been purchased or free. Most of it's purchased or built into RPG Maker. Most of it's purchased. I use a couple of basic music, like Sound Test right here. Like, you have all this music right here is all bought DLC from artists and composers that you buy it on Steam or through RPG Maker's website, and that gives you rights to be able to use that music for your commercial project. Same thing with some of these graphics and tile sets. Those are also bought, because RPG Maker comes with a very basic plan. Like, here's your battle music. I'm going to turn this because I don't want to blast my ears here. This is the battle theme for the game. So, when you go into battle, that's the music you'll hear. But yeah, every music that's played in Destiny Wizard 3 and in 2 in my first original game, no, that's all assets that I either bought or it's free for fair use. Because if I used someone else's musics, I would get sued and or have press charges or cease and desist, and we don't need that. We definitely do not need that. Now, the map I'm designing today, which gives little to no spoilers, is the bonus content you unlock at the end of the game, and that's the Game of Towers, which is going to follow a similar theme to the last game, where we're going to have 50 floors, and its theme is all randomized, for the maps. And then I go and fill in the details. And there's some like extra, teleportation tricks and traps and and other mechanics as well, which I'll add in the game. But that's what that's your answer to the music question. Yeah, when you start Savage mode, what I'm gonna probably do though is in the final product, because I've had a couple customers ask me that, and I believe James and the Kobold also asked that. Can I skip the opening cutscene? And yeah, that option will be in there. I would not recommend clicking yes the first time beating the game or playing the game. But when you like replay it, yes. And the way Savage Mode will be unlocked is you'll be given a code in the end. When you saw that in the very beginning of the game, the redeem code, there's going to be various codes that you can get throughout the adventure. And that will be one of them. And then basically the monsters are going to be tougher. It's going to be a grind fest. So expect the game to be, drop rates will be less. It's basically a more challenging mode in the game. And I'm not sure if I'm going to exclusively test that myself. I'm going to test the normal mode first to get a feel what the normal balance should be for levels and such. Then I will make a separate set of monsters which downs every monster 15%, and test and make that way I have a basis. Now for the Savage mode, because I haven't decided how that's going to be done, I might leave that to you guys who want to beta test while I test it myself at the same time. For time reasons, you can let me know this is too hard, enemies hit like a truck, I can't get to level 2, whatever. Savage mode is just an extra layer of difficulty. It's, if you want to challenge yourself to like how some people like to do. They like to oh, I want some more, and so whatnot. Whereas Destiny of a Wizard 2 had a extra class you could unlock and reduce down to you 3 party members, and the class was challenging. Here you have your 4 party members because there's no classes or nothing. To where they'll have their stats will be the same, but the monsters will be tougher and whatnot, and you won't be able to pick multiple classes. You have your 4 party members, and you get them all relatively pretty early in the game. So I say within the first 2 hours of the game, maybe 3, you'll have all 4 party members unlocked by that time. Now that is in Destiny Wizard 2. I've never really got any much input on that. If you beat that mode in the Destiny Wizard 2, it unlocks a boss rush mode, which is I think I beat it once myself, but I've never had anyone talk about it. But if you beat the extra layer of difficulty with the extra class in Destiny Wizard 2, you unlock an additional mode, which is a boss rush mode. And I've beaten it once, so it is beatable, but it is extremely challenging as it sets you at certain levels, and it's, and you have a certain time limit, and you get time extensions along the way to beat all the bosses in the game. Except for the bonus bosses, it's just the standard bosses in the game. And like I said before, I think I beat it one time. That was it. I don't know if I can do a console release. RPG Maker does allow that. I know they do allow the new RPG Maker MV does allow a mobile platform release, and I may look into that to see how that would actually work. It wouldn't come out at the same time as the PC release would, but I believe there's some RPG Maker games on the Switch, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure. I've only played a handful of RPG Maker games. I like them. There are some really good ones out there I can definitely recommend. But I don't know if they've made... I think Code of Princess is on the Switch, and that is an RPG Maker game. I think. I'm not 100% sure as I've not played it, but I know it's on the Switch. There's not going to be a collector's edition. There will be a discount when it first comes out, but no, I'm not doing any special any special collection edition. I might do something, add some extra features if you buy the game directly at my website. But if you buy it on Steam or on a third-party site, those extra features won't be in there. So I might actually do something like that. So to encourage, hey, buy it directly off me. I mean, I don't make a massive buck or profit off it. This is a passion project. This is for you guys, for myself. Something to, hey, ultimacj made this. This is pretty cool. So, but buying it directly on my website, I get the most profit off that, and pretty much almost all the funds goes back to buying assets, buying the new engine. I mean, even on sale, I've seen this program still $30. This program alone is an $80 program. So, okay, I've talked long enough and tried to rambled on. So let me keep going down here real quick beforehand and give the first Steam code. He narrated nature documentaries. And yes, for Valkyrie Profile, I actually used some of the music from that game in the non-commercial version of Destiny Wizard 1. David, Attenborough. Well, that's a cool name. Attenborough as Bond. There's gonna be some challenging boss fights, like the Dark Gargoyle fights and like from Dark Souls, because like the Game of Towers is designed to be tougher. Yeah, 12-inch. Yeah, more like 2-inch. Ooh, well, just messing with you, Dave. Love you, brother. Okay, so now get your copy and paste ready, as here comes the first Steam key, and I'm going to try to release these every 10-15 minutes. I actually wasn't thinking about giving out Steam keys, but my friend Billy was like, you should like. I was like, what? That's actually not a bad idea. Just a little extra, especially those who have never played the very first game yet. And say, hey, $10.99 value, and you're getting a free game out of it. Even if you don't play it, hey, something added to your library. And if you want to go, yeah, I got it, and say it in the chat, like, awesome, thank you. So, Cobalt Cultist, I do have a question for you, because I didn't see it go off on my end. Are you doing the host thing, or did it slip your mind? You don't have to, but I'm just curious. You don't have an answer, so that's probably I don't know, because I mean, I could go view myself real quick and see. Well, he is. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't. If the notification went off on my screen, it didn't say. Yeah, but like Sadie just said, keep it clean, bro. She is the sassy rogue. She'll give you a ripperoni if you're not careful. She may look cute and innocent, but behind that cute exterior, there's some badassness in there. So you don't want to get your ass kicked, unless you want to get stabbed. But I do appreciate the host. Thank you very much. I'm hoping you're all having a good, wonderful time as well on this lovely Thursday evening. As I'm trying. But like I said, I'm just designing maps, which can be a very boring process. I mean, this is more simplistic compared to actual maps I've designed. So because for those, I actually got to think of a map and draw it out. Like one of the most complex maps I think was the Succubus's lair, because there was multiple maps to go through on that. Like you can see on here. Yeah, the Succubus lair right here took a lot of time to get on in there. It took, just because there's different passages, make sure the transfers are working. It was a one of the challenging maps. But then I had another map which transports you to different spots. There's a light mechanic with certain maps, whereas you have a flashlight which dims out, which you have to refresh. But in terms of game, yeah, the game's done 100% in terms of story. Took the code and so long. Hey, that's fine. You want to make a couple extra bucks? Hey, you got a free game regardless. I know Dave is more than likely joking. He's not the biggest fan of RPG games. I mean, I know you dabble into them, bro, but $4,000. All right. Well, I better see you better. I'm not gonna believe, as they say, pics or it didn't happen. Gonna have to see proof of receipt there, man. Proof of purchase. Contract and everything. Otherwise, I am not gonna believe you. All right, so we've got the basis from. Normally, what I do is I get my basis from my floors and stuff down, because RPG Maker only lets me use so much. So let's see here. What do I want to use for a floor? Oh, we use the kitchen looking tile set. And fill in all these wooden floors and stuff like that. But I've done one play test with just the base, what I did beforehand, and the game without all the monsters and stuff took me about 9 hours to walk through it. So now you include monsters and all that. I'm aiming to be around 30 hours. I'm not gonna try. I don't want to aim. I mean, number. I know a number is kind of insignificant when it comes to RPG. It's all about the experience, whatnot. But I'd like it to keep it around 30 hours this time. Because the last game, took me 3.5 years. This one, I'm already close to the 3rd year mark. And this was undertaking as well. So, and it's weird. It makes me, I think even a coder can appreciate someone when or multiple people when they make a video game. You can really appreciate that, because what took you only 40 hours to beat took me 3.5 years to create. And it's mind blowing to, hey, you beat this game and you beat it in 30, 40 hours. Well, guess what? It took me 3 years to finish it. And it's crazy when you think in terms like that. Where are my stairs at? There they are. Make this the upstairs. And then I think down here will make my downstairs. And I know I've got another pair of stairs. Let's see. And one of the biggest advice I can do for, say, an RPG Maker, back up, because you don't want to ever crash and lose all your data. That's never fun. Well, I know it's game development, but still, when you just think about it, like, oh, wow, you squashed something in 30 hours. It took me 3. It's still amazing. It's just like how fast. I mean, I don't expect someone to take 3 years for somebody to beat a game. But still, it's just when you just think about it, it's like, wow, you're already done. Like, I don't know, it feels crazily shocking to me, I guess, as a player. And I think this time we'll add some bloody windows. Honestly, I think there's actually more voiceover acting in this game compared to this second game, because we have over 13 different characters that we're voicing. And the biggest thing with RPG Maker, or I think, or in any game, is how much fluff do you want to put on a map? You don't want to overdo the fluff, but you don't want to put too little fluff. And I think if you play the first Destiny Wizard 1, I actually had that problem, and I had people help me out here, and they're like, there's not enough fluff in here. But then again, you could add too much. So that's still a challenge for me occasionally. But For Destiny Wizard 2, I really didn't get many complaints that I didn't have too less fluff. Sure, if I need to hire a maid, would a maid help fluff the pillows? I guess the other word for fluff, I would say, do you want to make it too much cluttering? And you don't want to make something too crowded or too plain and then have this one thing stick out. Oh, that must be a switch or something I need to hit. Like, no, it's not. Although I think when I made my very first game, when I made Destiny Wizard 1, there was the Earth Cave, where I actually had a signpost that just sat there and said overthinking. And my friend Jess would say, dude, there's got to be something about the signpost. Nope, you're overthinking it, just like the signpost there. It's just deliberately there to troll you. I haven't, if Scassi is there, I haven't decided what rewards you could get for completing the signpost quest, or AKA the, or anyone has any ideas what rewards you could get for completing a collectathon quest. Should I make it progressive as you collect signposts, or just like, or as you find followers, or after you find followers or find them all, you get one big huge reward? And what reward would you be curious to see that to be? And speaking of, I'll actually show you an example. And I'll also showcase how the transitioning system for battle system will also work on here. And I'll show you that. And momentarily, I'm going to release the next Steam key, so get ready for it. Where is it at? There we go. And you'll even have an NPC here that will tell you. And yes, unlike, this will be a saving grace for James, and Destiny Wizard 3, you'll have options to be able to change the volume. So you'll have, I am an idiot. I forgot to turn off transparent. Let me do that real quick. There we go. My bad. So you can see the actual character. And transparent's used for mostly cutscenes and whatnot, or you don't want the player to show up on a map. Chests are so sassy if you try examining them after opening one. Love how they get offended. Have you tried it? Please feel free to loot this chest. And I'm actually, when I get to this point, I'm going to actually ask for some ideas. And what would you want a chest to say? I hear offended chests will log their complaint from the Crystal Net. I've seen someone host a fan service of those chests being offended, but it's not popular yet. So you're the hero that people talked about. Maybe once you climb that concentrate tower, you might find more chests to offend. Find enough chests to offend, the site might get recognized. You might even get rewarded. So after you open the chest, which I'm still working on a graphic to show what items and stuff you get. So you'll see, and this is actually also going to be voiceovered. Sure, all right. That's an idea. I might actually get with you, White Fire Demon, who's also one of my good friends, and a few others, because I haven't gotten it, and I'm probably going to take a couple from Trials in the Sky, because some of them it's just like, wow, I've never seen that in the game, and I look forward to that kind of silly humor. But like, you do realize how this works, right? Chests are normally emptied after you've opened and take their shinies. There's a whole lot of nope in this empty chest. Now I got this idea from James, so I'm gonna put this in here. Cobalt pops out, shouting it's empty, and you know it. Then closes the chest in front of you. You decide to walk away and best leave it alone. And so there'll be like more smart-ass answers such as that. So let's go ahead. Y'all get your copy and paste ready, as here comes the second key right now. Fluffing is a career. Fluffing in what exactly? And I'm going to design a little bit more maps here, then I will show you the battle transition. I'm actually wouldn't mind getting curious on some people's reaction to it. I think it was really cool that Mog Hunter, which is he is, I guess I want to say almost he's just I don't know, he or she, they're just really, really gifted, and I love. I mean, they do speak. I think they're Portuguese, but his scripts are plugins, which that's what RPG Maker MV uses. It uses plugin managers, and you can see I have a lot here, and most of them are from Mog because like the battle system that you'll see, the transitions where it goes from battle to that. There's a lot that he did that I actually put in my game. The fast travel system. I mean, I had to adjust some of the language, some of the things used in JavaScript. No, it's Java, not JavaScript. I'm sorry. Forgot there's a difference between the two. Because RPG Maker MV uses Java. And he's just a saving grace. And I really loved his plugins. And I mean, he doesn't charge. And see, that's another thing. If you use someone else's plugins, everyone has their own terms of service. Mug Hunter, like I said, is a saving grace. All his shit is free. It's hard figuring some of it out because all his notes and stuff are in Portuguese, but they are really good. Oh, so fluffing is a different terminology. Gotcha. When I'm thinking fluffing, like, hey, I'm fluffing a pillow, just to get ready for bed, or what a housekeeper does. But I'll look it up. Sure. I don't need you getting me banned off Twitch there, Steve. Let alone YouTube. I mean, come on, man. You're just trying to. I'm just curious what kind of ideas you want me to throw on in there. So I typically take care of my walls first. So. And I actually might put some blood on the floor too. We can also do that. I'll do that next. So let's see here. This is the horror pop tile set. But typically for me, if you're developing an RPG Maker game, one of the biggest ideas I would suggest, especially on a tight budget, is wait for a Steam sale to kick on it. And that's when a lot of tile sets, because I think I have over $1,000 alone in RPG Maker assets, but I think I've spent the most $300 on all the assets for MV because of all the discounts. So something might be $25, it goes down as low as $5. That includes music, tile sets, sprites, graphics, title screens, all kinds of stuff. And that's limited to Steam. Steam has a decent chunk that you can do, that you can implement and employ. So there's always that. Okay, so I've got that done. Let's add some picture frames to this sucker. And typically I said I was going to stop around 9 o'clock Central Time, but since we've got people on here, I will keep it on going till about 9, till about close to 10. Is the language format pretty much the same? Because I'll actually I'll give you, this will probably look great to some people, but the one thing I had to edit in RPG Maker, one thing I had to edit for the fast travel system, for example. Let's see here. It's under JS for JavaScript, or Javas. Oh, it is JavaScript. I thought it was called Java. I'm mixing those two up. I'm sorry. So you go under plugins, and then you download the plugin, and an RPG Maker will automatically see it. And now in RPG Maker, let's see. Let me go into plugins, and we'll do the world map. We'll do the world map one, for example. Fast. It's called Fast Travel. There it is, Fast Travel. And you get some variables that you can edit, like what kind of music I want to play, the fade, speed, zoom animation, how big accesses and stuff are. But as you can see here, I can't name my locations on here. This is where the advanced stuff comes on, and you don't have to be a programmer to figure this out. So but this is like the basic stuff. Now, as you can see, he's all in Portuguese, but I use Google Translate to help me out a little bit. So here's where the Greek part comes on in. So let's go into Fast Travel here and find it. There it is. And I don't have the program. I don't have the JavaScript software installed. So what I have to do is I have to open up this with Notepad. Good old Notepad. And now this is the guts of the essay. I don't want to mess with certain things because I think he even says, like, he tells you where all the locations and like he gives you the entire script and you just apply it to your game, copy and paste the folders into their exact locations. Because he uses a lot of scripts or a lot of images. His is all about utilizing images. Even he says, don't touch this because I could screw up the game really bad. I mean, I can just look at this and like this is what I basically edit. Now he gives an example and tells you where everything's at. So it is in Java language, but basically town 1, town 2, town 3, town 4, town 5 this is all your names of the places. And the images have to match that as well in your folders. So you make the image, the graphic or whatever, and then you have something like this. And then where's it going to show up on the map? On the actual world map screen. And I'll give you an example. I'll show you how it all comes together in a second and keep it as spoiler free as I can. Map ID. Basically, map ID is this little sucker down. I don't know if you can see it, but map ID was just 520. For this, it's 521. Where do I want to take the player to? When I select it, I'm taking you to map 21. Whereas his is map 19, which is Gridanian. And then where am I going to show up on the map? Like location-wise, X and Y here, as you can see, which is indicated by this little number down here, down in the bottom right-hand corner. The 120 out of 110. X and Y axis. And then direction uses a numerical, but if you look up here, what direction is the character going to face? Down, left, right, up. And depending on where I want them to face when they enter the area, like in this case, he's going to face the right area when he enters the area. So that's basically how that works. Now, in the actual RPG Maker engine, let me see here. Trying to think what would be. Just give me 1 second. I'm thinking for a second because I don't want to put too much spoilers in here. Okay, I guess it'd be the first Tower World because that's when stuff starts getting unlocked. All right, Con Tower. Here we go. So, for example, when I'm ready to unlock the location, and you can also turn this on and off, the way you would do it is you make an event, and this is already done, and the plugin instructions tell you when you download what to do. This is the RPG Maker part. Plugin command, because that's what you got to tell what you're activating. Enable town 3, 1, 2. And that's where all these numbers come from. And if it's a town, I want to tell it's a town. If it's a dungeon, I want to tell it's a dungeon. So when you do all that, now I'm going to skip this dialogue because I don't want you be ruined by the story, just to give you an outlook of that, what it looks like. and then I'll go look at the chat real quick afterwards.
You see.
I see.
Ahem.
And then this is your world map. And that's how it is when it all comes together. So when you pick your location, zooms on in, and takes you to the next area. That's how the world map section works. No, Visual Studio is different from Visual Basic because that's what I used before. I know Java is free, but no, the programming language, it's the other program. One of them's not free. Are they both free? No, there's an actual world map as you just saw. So whenever you exit an area, that's your fast travel. There's not an actual world map that you travel in. Once you exit an area, it takes you to the world map and you fast travel, boom, you're instantly there. There's no actual world map. The world map is a stage selection screen format. Okay, I remember Visual Basic. I thought Visual Basic was replaced by Visual Studio. That's what I thought, at least. RPG Maker VX Ace used Ruby, and that was a completely different format. I kind of like the transition to using Java instead on RPG Maker MV. It's actually easier to use. The plugin system is much better. I'm hoping when I get to using MZ, which is the next engine, I haven't purchased it yet. I'm hoping that I can they still use plugins. I don't know what kind, and maybe I like PB Marble Art said, maybe because I know a lot of people on the RPG Maker forums that I've looked on there, people have asked for it, and it would be nice if they tried to do a Chrono Cross action-based kind of deal. That would be really, really awesome. Where are my... I guess we can use this. Give it some kind of design. Now I'm hoping that by mid-June that a beta test will be available. I can't guarantee that because of real life, waiting on the voiceovers. But since Sadie is super anxious, I'll go ahead and send her that way she is knocked out because I can actually show you. And also, I don't know if she's in the chat or not, but Oxalina is doing the title work, and I think she's still working on it. I was hoping for a preview to show what the title screen was going to look like officially. Like the title screen you saw there, that's not the official title screen. I haven't even done that yet. Visual Basics and Programming is a language. Visual Programming Environment. That pretty much utilizes the language. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, the Meeple said they might join on in, but I was hoping that she was going to, because as you saw in the very beginning, her name was on there. She is working on the title screen. I'm hoping to get a preview of that pretty soon. I had a number of artists. I actually have a list of number of artists that I know to talk to, but I offered it to Oxy first, and she said she'd do it, and she says she's still working on it. So I'm hoping to get something very, very soon, and maybe I might even post a preview on, with her permission, of course, post a preview on our Facebook page. That I will post it on there. But as you can see, these are all the voices. See, with David, that's with the exception of David Reed, and I'm still waiting on Zimmy. and that's not too hard, but and of course I'm still trying to get a hold of Courtney. She's had a lot of real life problems going on, and so this could cause a delay in the game because waiting on the voiceovers. I learned my lessons last time in the second game where don't dump it all on people all at one time at the very end. That's the last thing I need done other than putting them in. I'm trying to knock it out as I go. James, you'll be pleased to note that the lovely Sakabis is played by the lovely Tribbles. But David Capperman, I've had 2 or 3 delays happen, and of course, thanks to COVID, that also caused delays. I couldn't see David for at least 3 or 4 weeks because he contracted the virus, and he's recovering nicely. He's fine. He's full of health. We were supposed to meet this week, but that got canned. We're supposed to meet next week. I don't know what. It's not going to be Thursday. It's not going to be Wednesday because Wednesday I'm hosting an event on our Discord that giving out prizes. But it might be Friday, Saturday. I don't know. I get with him, and we are trying to do voices as we can. And typically I knock out about 30 to 40 lines. Although this session is going to be about 23 lines because we're also doing a video interview with the commentary section. And I've had some people ask about that. So there's over 13 people. I'm sorry, 12. I thought it was 13. Okay, so it is 12. And David has the most, and he's about 60% done. And it's almost that time to give another key code out. Aw, you sound excited, Miss Tribbles, Miss P.R. Cole. She actually did a good job, especially on some cringy moments. I expect certain people to just just kill the cleric now. But when you get to that scene, she did a really good job on that. It's just screech. It's just like listening to nails on a chalkboard. You don't want that. But I think Destiny Wizard 2 had, 8 voiceover actors, give or take, I want to say. Okay. There we've got that done. I mean, that's my goal, but, things can happen in real life and all that, but the game is being developed. I might even release this in the wintertime when things slow down because I know a couple people might be able to live stream it, be able to play it, whatnot. So June is when I'm planning on having the beta finished. I'm hoping. I still got to do all the... Where are my picture frames at? They're so small, I overlook them. That must be on B. There it is. Okay. Put a couple shotguns in here. Whoops. Then the fun part is play testing the map and make sure there's no invisible blocks or something that's preventing the player from moving. Because you don't want that either. Oh, well, I'm glad you feel loved. I remember using Visual Basic a long time ago, and I don't have it's long forgotten, but I actually made a full maze game with that. Before then, I don't know if James remembers this or not. Quick Basic or Q Basic. I also that was actually a fun. Actually, I actually enjoyed that. Quick Basic was actually kind of fun. That's when I had a monochrome monitor before color was a thing, and I could afford a colored monitor. I actually made my very first video game with that. It was a text-based maze game called Mazer Crazer. And I actually thought about doing that with RPG Maker down the road. And then you had rooms, if you just walked in a room and had a trapdoor, well, you're dead, start over. But it was all about memorization. It was only 30 or 40 rooms big, so once you got it down, It wasn't that tough to begin. It wasn't that. It was pretty easy to do. It was just something fun to do, something basic. I think one time I actually did a thing where I would record a TV show on a tape recorder, like The Simpsons, and then write something in visual, and not Visual Basic, but something in Quick Basic, and have the text flow, like subtitle text flow with that, with goofy animations and all kinds of cool stuff that would match with the voice. It was kind of cool. I don't have that anymore. Sadly, but it was just something fun. I just enjoyed doing, and I showed friends, and they thought that was kind of cool. C++ or C, yeah, I know you can make games with that. That language was a struggle. I could not get into C++. I really tried to, because I wanted to learn how to program a cool game or something with it, and I think people use C++ and they probably use something with the Unreal Engine and combine the two together, or the Unity engine. But don't quote me on that though. Alright, we've got that. Let's make this a little bloody and add some blood on the floors. Where's my blood? There's the bloody beds. Ah, there they are. Splat. Splat. Sploot, sploot. I honestly still want to say the Succubus scene is still probably my favorite scene I wrote. And just putting it all together, it's honestly one of my favorite scenes that I really wrote and made it cringeworthy. And in a moment, we'll release the third Steam key. And then we have 2 keys left to release. So get your copy paste ready. I think I used QBasic when I was about that age too. 10, 11, 12. Something like that. One language I wanted to kind of learn, because there was a spaceship game I played from my old Packard Bell computer. Round 44? I think it was a space shooter. And you could actually buy the programming language. What was Turbo Pascal? I never bought it or gave it a shot, but it looked pretty dope. And I was like, man, this looks cool. He made a space shooter with this. But a year or so down the road, I really heard that Turbo Pascal is a total bitch to program. So I don't know. That's what I had people tell me. This was many years ago. But Turbo Pascal was one language I really wanted to learn. I was actually, because I wanted to make a space shooter game like Space Fighter 2000 or something like that. And back then I was obsessed with stuff like Mazer Crazer 2000, this 2000, this 2000. You know, kind of like how the N64 has the number 64 behind everything. Not at the moment. I mean, I could put cookies in there. There are cookie references, because there is a town called More Donuts that is like a big giant, think of a big giant cafe town that serves all kinds of foods and bakes and sweets. And the Blue Wizard does make a mention to the town of Lee and cookies. But no, there's no cookies in this one. But since I've only designed More Donuts, and I'll actually can show you. This is your town of More Donuts. As you can see, it has a lot of cafe stuff. But there's no actual cookies about. Oh, what I'm thinking about doing, and there could be cookies, and I actually, because I haven't put items and stuff in yet. There'll be like, what I'm thinking in terms of line, that you buy various food items, and they all will have a positive effect, as far as I know. Might have one, but you won't know what the effect is until you eat them, and then you'll have to make a mental note. Oh, okay, this donut or pastry gives me 10% strength for 5 rounds, and it gives me 200 HP back. Something like that. And then you want to like utilize those items to do right. The one thing I don't want to try to do, which happened in the second Destiny Wizard, and which I had my friend Quillpox, he played that game 2 or 3 times, and I also helped James with this, is potions were very overpowered. Granted, they didn't do a lot of damage for the most part, but their status debuffs and stuff made the fight a lot easier. But this is your town of Mordona. It's like the pastry town, so I don't want to do that in the third game. I don't want to OP items this time around, where potions just literally kind of almost broke the game in certain points. Of course, I remember from the live streams that James did, he did not utilize potions, even though I kind of, hey, don't have your cleric defend, use a potion. Because they were absolutely OP if you knew how to do them right, especially with status debuffs. Because I think very little to no enemies, including bosses, ever resisted status debuffs. And you could easily cheese a fight. I think I learned I heard about Turbo Pascal when I was 13. Oh, don't exit and flip the table. You don't technically have to be old to know what Turbo Pascal is. I mean, that's a very ancient language, and if you are already, dabbling in programming, that's like a popular language to learn. The one language which I was required in college to take, which I failed the first time because the instructor was boring as fuck, and that was began with a C. Very text-based, where Cobalt, the C, and just to make it say "Hello World" was 25 lines. Speaking of, it's time for the third code because we are getting close to the end of the stream. So I keep getting sidetracked. So I am sorry. Here comes the third code, so get ready. And let me do a few more maps here. And then I'll show the battle transition because I am curious on what y'all think about the battle transition. Now, I posted this demo. People are going to see this demo. Some people may have seen this on my YouTube page, or some people have exclusively shared it with. Bloody floors. Yeah, I don't know if the Meeples are still streaming or not, but I know Braden said he tried to make it, but it's all good if he couldn't. I know they typically stream on a Thursday, so, and this is just something that Thursday was the best day for me to go and do this. So, I mean, I will have a video, and there will be a video on demand on Twitch, of course, but there will also be a permanent video on my YouTube page. So, any footage that you missed, including the pre-show, you just won't get the interaction that, hey, I'm interacting with you, the audience, or you in particular, or answering a question. And I'll have that up in a couple of days. And I'll also post that on the Facebook page. Now, those who don't do Facebook that much, you're not in the Facebook, that's fine. You don't have to follow my page to get updates, but 90% of all the updates I post on Facebook. Because, I mean, I could do it on my main website, but, that main website's for major updates where, like, small status updates, like, hey, voiceover's kicked in, or whatnot. That sort of deal. So, I mean, I could add some, like, whoops. And I can, do that and add that. And in about 5 minutes, I will showcase you guys the battle system and its transitions. And I think you'll like it. I mean, I really loved it. It has a shattering effect, which is very, very dramatic. And I'll even show you the battle camera for it as well. And you'll get to sample you can see some of the voices too, to give you a preview with the battle system. I think it's a much more cleaned up, improved battle system. It'll have one thing I know James and many others will love. There'll be HP bars for everything, including bosses. Now, it won't show the actual number for the boss, but it'll give you an idea. Okay, this is where he's at. No, don't feel sad and ancient. I'm old and ancient if it makes you feel better. Like I said, you don't have to be old and ancient to know these languages. Um, because like they're popular languages still used today. Uh, it's another language. Turbo Pascal, Cobalt, C++, C. That's the languages I knew by. And then Ruby. I didn't know about Ruby till I did RPG Maker VX8 when I was researching it. And then Java. But COBOL was the most common one I remember. And as well QBasic, because I did a lot with and of course the Apple II had BASIC as well. We had because I actually when I was in was it elementary or middle school? Yeah, we played we had to do a program in BASIC. Something simple, but still had to do it. Yeah, it is hot in here, and I have my AC on, and I am still sweating like a pig. All right, well, we got our blood on the floors and whatnot. I might add a couple extra rooms because I haven't, decided how I want to do this yet. So let me go add some. We can add some tubs with a quacker deck. And I'll zoom this in for you guys so you can see it a little bit better. So, I typically zoom out. So, too much. So I can get my map as a whole because I can see it just fine. But as for purposes of the stream, I'll zoom it down a little bit. Oh, we'll just add some more blood. There we go. Since that's covering it up. Nah, if anyone's going to be on a wheelchair, it's going to be me. Because I'm older than you, Mr. Kobold. In fact, my birthday is next month. I think you said one time you were planning to do an actual coding stream down the road. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I don't know how entertaining that would be, but I would be curious in how you actually do that stuff behind the scenes. I'd watch a good hour or so of it just to be curious, because not many people, honestly, I know Twitch is mostly a gamer stream for the most part, but I wouldn't mind actually seeing something like that. There you go. Bloody couches with a room with tubs in it. That's the typical thing to see. And this is where I get back with the don't add too much fluff. I don't want to add too much, but I want to add just enough. Hi, cat. Say hello to people. Hello. She hopped on my lap. Hello. She's like, let go of me. Don't you have food? No, I don't have food. Let's see here. I know. We'll put do a couple of these. I actually do have one map in my game project in here that uses this tile set a lot, and a lot of the rooms are very, very bloody. What horrors awaits in you? I don't know. I mean, you could code something just for shits and giggles, or heck, you could make a basic maze game like I did. Just something to showcase for 30 minutes or so. Now, if you want to do something longer, I don't know if you are allowed to share your actual work or living. You could do something like that. But make sure you just explain it to us laymen's, because I only know so much because I know nothing about Java. And when I was looking at the Mog fast travel, I just used common sense and put all the, because he provided a really good example to how this works. And the same thing works for the quest log. Like the quest log in the game, I have to actually, there's a text file that the script is written into the program of RPG Maker. I don't know how he did it, but it's written in the program to where that when you activate the quest, it shows up in the window in the game. And it reads an actual notepad text file. Or no, I'm sorry, a JavaScript file. And it goes off that. And he gives very specific instructions how to use it. So which is really nice. And the beauty thing is, with RPG Maker, a lot of these coders that make stuff for them or plugins, so you don't have to do all the vanilla stuff, because the vanilla stuff is very basic. They give you some of them will actually write a whole program to give you an example, like Log Hunter does, and a few other ones do as well. And they are so useful, and you can copy and paste some assets, and then just look to see the example. Example to see how it is, and it's actually very, very useful. All right, it's 30 after. We're going to go and give the fourth key, so y'all get ready for it. And if you want to give your thoughts or give it a review of Destiny Wizard on Steam, that would be also very nice, because I've had a lot of people tell me, man, this is like a hidden gem. It's like, unfortunately, I just don't. Oop. And there's the fourth key. And like I said, tomorrow, and I'll also post it on my Facebook page, there will be a 50% off sale on both games. The Shower Kingdom, which is not on Steam, which is on my page directly, it's only $8.99. That's the closest thing I got to a Zelda-like format. Now, if I wanted to, I think I've got mostly this map designed. Nope, not this one. Now, if I want to, I can also add candles and stuff, which are events. Let's see here. Gotta find it first. There's crystals. And this is what gives your animation look. Like I could... where is it at? Is it way down here? No, I passed it. Let me find it. It's at the very beginning. I think it's Flame 1. Yeah, here it is. So you can add like lanterns and castle. Now they're standing still, but I can also tell how fast I want the animation to go, the frequency of it, and then when you go into the actual game, when you play test it, you'll actually see animation go off, which is pretty nice and cool. And speaking of, I did say I was going to show that, so I'm going to go ahead and be quiet for a moment and show what the battle test looks like. Now, I'm going to pass the showcase part. I'm just going to go directly into the battle so you can see what it looks like. So when you walk up to an enemy or an enemy encounters you,
I'm up. Ooh, that stings. All right. Much better. Ooh, that stings. I'm up. You're going down. Ow! All right. That's one for the boys back home. Second wind.
And then for bosses, we're going to have something like this.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
And this was already showcased in the pre-show, so I'm going to go ahead and skip this.
All right.
And as you can see, you can also click, mouse wheel, use an item, all that stuff. So you can also just click.
Ow! Ooh, that stings.
She's probably going to kill
All
me.
right. Second wind. Ow! Ooh, that stings. Ooh, that stings. All right.
But that's how the battle system is going to be. Granted, there's one character there with all 4 characters, which that fight is designed for 4 characters. They would pummel the test enemy. So, yeah, oh my god, that's so hard. Like, no, it's designed for 4 characters, but I only have the main character on here. So, but that's what the battle system is going to look like. You'll have a shattering screen. You'll see a cool graphic come on down. So it's a much more, which took a while to get working all together. So I wanted to do something like more flash and dramatic with the cameras and all that. So I'm hoping it looks much more nicer and much more cleaned up and presentable. Can I turn off? No, voices cannot be turned off. I can see about this. I don't know if they can be or not. I can go ahead and see if there's a way of flipping that off. But once the plugin's added, he didn't write an actual option. I'll look to see if he's updated his thing to have a better, to actually have the voices for battle system turned off. But you only saw one character, and I was going through it really fast. That's why it sounded like there was a lot there. When you have a bunch of characters and monsters and stuff, it should flow a lot more evenly. I don't want to do that. I'll block it. I'm actually almost done with this map because I'm happy with I gotta put the transfers and stuff in there, and that's how transfers work. Basically, like these stairs right here. Basically, I would say create like. I'll have to do something with this. I haven't played with it yet. I basically would create a transfer, and then tell it where I want the character to go. And I just click on something and boom, and that's where they'll show up on the map. That's how transfers work in RPG Maker. And I thoroughly test those to make sure those good, especially for large maps like this. I thoroughly put a test in there to make sure it's working properly. No. You only heard that because, like I said, there's just one character. When you have all 4 characters, it's gonna play 3 different samples. Like, ouch, that stings. It's gonna be random. So it could be a randomizer to where you might hear it too much, but since there's 3 different samples and whatnot, and the victory, when you win the fight, it's gonna pick a random character. If the character gets defeated, that sort of deal. So you only heard I'm only showcasing the Blue Wizard because we don't have the voices. Because here, I'll show you real quick, just to give you to. What we'll do here is we'll go back to battle test. Okay, and what we're gonna do in terms, types, system, I'll add all 4 party members on here. And we haven't gotten their voices yet. So what you're about to hear is just a placeholder until the voices are popped on it. I've only gotten the Blue Wizard in there for time reasons because my friend Matt moved to Colorado, so we kind of rushed it with him as much as we could. Like David, Sadie. I haven't even sent those yet to Sadie. Sadie's going to have her own thing like, woohoo, this is lit. Or she'll say something cutely adorable in her own happy way. It's going to be more with her than with me. I'm going to give her ideas and she'll wing it. But this is actually what you'll see.
All right. Yeah.
As you need, you're hearing Japanese voices.
I'm up. Bring it on.
That gives you an idea how So do you like the idea of seeing a boss battle meter? You know, stop healing yourself.
I'm up.
I haven't added that skills or anything yet. Just the vanilla stuff.
I'm up. Yeah. Ooh, that stings.
But that's how that works. So it does seem like it might sound a little excessive in the beginning of the game because you're just going to have 2 party members when you first start out. But like I said, you quickly get the other 2 party members within the first 3 hours of the game. 3 or 4 hours, I want to say, give or take. But yeah, I thought adding voices was actually kind of cool and dramatic because you don't really see that. And that's another plugin that Mog Hunter added. I mean, it'd be nice to have an option to... I mean, I could email him, but I don't know how well he speaks English. So, but I could send him an email, or I'll look on his page sometime and see if he's made improvements to it, like an option to turn it on, like a thing that you could add in your project to flip that off. Yeah, like I said, that's just a excuse me, that's just a placeholder for the Japanese voices. That's going to change as soon as all the voiceovers come on in. Like you'll hear, the Paladin say his own stuff. I mean, I'll have suggestions, but I'm going to let the voice actors wing it with what they want to say. That would attune with their character. Like, ha, take this. Ouch. Like, oh, I've been defeated. I think one of the ones that Matt says when he gets killed is, I sure hope I respawn, as if he gets killed. Whatnot. So, and Matt had fun with that one because he wanted to really put some personality into his own voice with the character's voiceover. Like a TV, a bloody TV I can put in here. And within the next 4 minutes, I will give out the last Steam key. Is it B? There's my beds. Oh, there's my TVs and bloody bookcases. I don't want to put too much fluff in here. Add a couple countertops. There we go. And put some plants in here. Nothing like a little bit of a green thumb. But yeah, I can, the cookie idea, I could definitely do. But if you have any interesting ideas, you can post on my Facebook page or tell me directly what you think, what kind of extra features are done. I mean, like I said, the story's done, so I don't want to modify the story. That I don't want to change. But in terms of like certain like extra mechanics, I mean, I'd be up for listen to hearing ideas for that. Extra mechanics, extra cool items, skills. Like I already have a couple in my like Ripperoni slash or something, that goes with the character, or double attack. I mean, I haven't implemented those yet. Basically, once I'm done with the bonus dungeon and everything works with that, the next thing to add is skills and monsters. Because the Blue Wizard, unlike in the last game, you don't buy equipment and stuff. He has his equipment already there. But you go on and you pick up most of them through the main story, but there'll be side ones as well that you'll upgrade your legendary equipment. So it'll be turned +1, +2, +3, and all your spells and stuff also increase. The only thing the Blue Wizard will gain in terms of leveling up is like tactical attacks abilities. Yeah, you could say barf. I mean, like I said, the game does aim towards a comedy thing, but you want to say it like in since your character's more of a chivalry paladin, you want to say barf or something maybe along the lines of from Monty Python. That could also work. It's just a flesh wound. You could say that too. There's one right there. Like if you get hit or get healed, like there's certain ones. One I don't know the breakdown completely. Yeah, I think I'm done with this map. So I can go into sound test. I don't know the exact. Okay, it's under SE. As you can see, there's a lot of sound effects because most of this is voiced over. And the way the script asks for, there we go.
Pya! Pya!
So basically, you have your 4 actions.
Take this! Kablam!
Kablam. And
Ah! Here I come. You're going down.
And these are like I think the first 4 or first 5 is like, hiya, take this, oof. And then the remaining ones.
This is going to be easy.
Or when characters use special skills or abilities. Whereas then you have counter.
Not today.
That's if he counters on a monster, which this time, James, I don't think I'm going to even have that in the game because I don't understand how RPG Maker works with that. Where here, I'm casting a buff, or a healing ability, and now it's negated. And like, or reflected, and it should never even happen. Or even the bosses cast a buff on themselves and negated. I wanted to use that exclusively for the Witch Hunter class because that's what it was exclusively for. But since RPG Maker just does stupid rando stuff, I'm just not going to do magic reflection and or evasion. I think I'm just going to take that out completely. Unless it's improved in RPG Maker, I might put it in RPG Maker MV, but when I see people do beta testing, if it's just that bad to where, oh, you just ruined my buff, and it shouldn't be negated. Like, not even a fail, like 100% cast. I cast a buff, you get it. Yeah, you did miss some real bangers. Raided with a party of one. Well, one's better than nothing. Thanks for the raid. And I appreciate the follow. I'm going to get with you, James, one of these days, or somebody that can help me out with the notification stuff, because I do have it set to where I'm supposed to get alerts and stuff, but it's not working. So I don't have Stream Elements installed. Maybe that's what's causing it to do. But yeah, you have your KO.
I hope I respawn.
Yeah, so each one has its own set. Like I take damage.
Ouch!
Ouch!
Ow! Ooh, that stings.
So the game will pick one of these three. So, and of course you have the turn, like 2 for turn, 2 for starting the battle, 1 for reflection. If I put that in there, recovering and healing.
Second wind, much better.
So you'll hear sound effects like that, and the game's going to pick that randomly. Whether it will span it, it's a 50-50 chance with that kind of stuff. So it depends on how the game was going to randomize it. And then you have 4 victory sounds.
Good job, me.
So yeah, he had to put that in there. He had to put his own sarcastic bullshit in there. And Meeples, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I just saw it go off on my phone. Morty, I appreciate the follow as well. Wow, 18 viewers. Why did it say rating with a party of 1? That is weird. But I'm sorry that my stream conflicted with your guys' stream, because I know you guys sometimes do stuff on Thursday or whatnot. And I don't want to say, oh, I hope Mediacom botches on them. Like, nah, I would never want that on anyone. No one wants down internet, especially when you need it. Especially when I'm working on stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning and I need it. And especially at my main job, all our servers and stuff use a cloud-based stuff. Well, if the internet goes down, our cloud goes down, guess what? I can't do my work. And I'll actually have to email the manager or whatnot to say, hey, couldn't do my job. Why? Internet was down. Cloud suck. Cloud has its pluses, but it also has its negatives. Maybe Meeples knows some more programming languages. I don't know. I know COBOL. I know C++. I know C, Turbo Pascal, Quick Basic, and Visual Basic. In Visual Studios, which integrates that all together. Though I remember using Visual Studios, some of the language was not the same as Visual Basic. But here comes the last key to redeem. So if you want a free game for Destiny, the very first Destiny of a Wizard, here it is. And if those who are claiming it, if you do plan on streaming the game, let me know. Now keep in mind that this was a very basic game. It was when I first learned RPG Maker. So I worked really thoroughly on it, but it is like cut and dry. So it's not as enhanced like Destiny Wizard 2. That's why when I had the Cobalt Cultist stream Destiny Wizard, I was like, well, just stream 2. 1 tells you what happens, and 2 tells you what happens at the beginning of 1. It pretty much wraps that up to where it's a much more cleaned up game, improved battle system. I was more experienced with it, and it was a much more detailed project versus the first game. First game is very simplistic, 10 hours, 12 at best, and it has a little bit more grinding in it compared to Destiny Wizard 2. Unless you do the bonus content, then you're looking at 15 to 20 hours. But it comes up the second key, and I'll go look at the chat again. I'm sorry, the last key. So there you go. I hope that you're able to hear all the sounds and bells and whistles. It looks like OBS, I have seen no complaints about it, so I'm happy with that. Geo Diaz. There was a 0 after that 1. No, there's Sake Abyss is number 10. So there you go. There's the proof right there. Sake Abyss is number 10. The perfection of 10, 10, 10 out of 10. But like I said, this will be on the Twitch page. This will also be on my YouTube page, so be sure to follow that. And that will be a permanent thing. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm probably going to have 2 versions of this video. One like this. And then I'm going to go like I did with the Cobalt Cultist. I'll actually have a recording stream of actually seeing the way you can see the chat. So there'll be 2 versions of this video. That might take a couple days. But I'll post it on my Facebook page. And I'll probably post it on various Discords that I'm on. But this is how a map is actually ran. And before I call this stream to an end, we're not gonna have trim, but so you can see how it actually comes to life. Yeah, I can't read that. Wingdings or whatever that, or I know that's a language. As you can see, you'll have your menu system. The good old save system is back. That will be changed eventually with different images and stuff. That's just a placeholder. Now, for playtesting reasons, if I wanted to, I could hold down the control key and I can walk through walls. But that's just for playtesting purposes. When the actual game gets released, that doesn't happen. Okay, cool. So they can, So he can walk through this. So I'll just have to transfer initiate on these 2 spots when I make the transfer to another floor. And of course you'll have monsters and stuff like that on the screen too. It won't be a random monster encounter. I don't think I'm going to have any random monster encounters at all. Oh, I got a map I got to finish. I'll take care of that next time. But your menu system's all improved. The weapons, key items, skills, animated bars, all that stuff. There's probably animated blood. I don't think this tile set has any, but I mean, I got water that's animated. Like, is it on this tile set? Yeah, like this water. No, yeah, like this water right here is animated, but it's not. What I could do is open up Photoshop, which I have actually done, because I will show you that. This is one of the dungeons you have to go through. What I did was I took a tile set. Let's see. No, it's not that. Let me find it. Just give me a second. I think it's in the Final Tower world. Yep. And what we did was I made a barren town that's all black and white, except for the characters; they're colored in. So this will be an actual dungeon that you'll have to go through in the game. And not to mention the one dungeon which took me forever, which I modeled after Final Fantasy XIV. Give a slight preview of that, which is the Alredale, which took me almost 3 months to complete because it's a huge dungeon. And this is where toxic and all that happy poison stuff gets introduced with poisonous floors, a mist, and everything. And it's a very huge dungeon. This dungeon is so big that there's actually a halfway point that you can access back on the world map. Like, I wanted to make this map very huge, confusing, and disorienting for the player because it's like a misty swamp kind of dungeon with a couple puzzles too. I think this map is over 60 maps long. Yep, it's 62 maps big. But with a checkpoint too, and a couple of save points as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save it there. And get back to this probably in a couple of days. Now, I will occasionally live stream games or whatnot and at my own bidding, but, I haven't really done like a full Let's Play of a game yet. I'm just randomly doing streams. But I might do a full Let's Play of a couple PlayStation 3 games down the road that I have, like Wet, and I think I have a couple RPGs or whatever games I have. I'll have to look at my collection. Never been a dungeon like that. So in all the games you've played, you've never been in a dungeon that had a swamp. Also, Corrupted Overlord, thanks for the follow. Morty, thanks for the follow. Oh, Girls Game 2, thanks for the follow. Getting close to the 50 mark, only need about 25 more. The thousands years of Drained Swamp Dungeon. Well, no, I've played a lot of dungeons that had swamps in them. Actually, I think the cardinal rule is that which it's not in Destiny Wizard 3, but always have a sewer. Gotta have a sewer. Every RPG game's gotta have a sewer. That's like RPG rule 101. Is you have to have a sewer in the game. I know Destiny Wizard 3 is going to be a heck of a lot bigger because I believe the last Destiny Wizard was about 600 megabytes. This one I'm already at 1.2 gigabytes big. So it's going to be a much more bigger undertaking type of a game. Cell with rats in it, I've seen that done before. I mean, nothing here is going to be overall too new. Like I said, there's no chase scenes. That's been done away with. There's going to be puzzles and hints and stuff that you'll be given bonus experience points if you solve the puzzle. Like I have one puzzle where you have to match the picture with the sequence of buttons that you have to hit. Is there a Simon Says one? No, there's no Simon Says in this one. But they're very basic puzzles. And there's also going to be a color puzzle as well. Before the dawn of man as we knew him, there were circles of... That sounds like a very dark version of Christmas. Almost like the movie Black Christmas, which I've never seen, or Krampus. Are you describing Krampus? I know that's a lore thing. But it is 10:05, and I'm glad we were able to go to 10 o'clock instead of 9. I appreciate everyone who showed up for the exclusive live stream. And thanks for the follows and whatnot. I mean, I hope you had a great time. The pre-show introduction will also be in there. So those who got in here late, you can review the pre-show. It will be on here as well as my YouTube page. Like I said, the first version of this will probably be on my YouTube page, like what you see right now with me recording, but not you won't see this stuff. This stuff I'll actually have up the next time. But well, actually, you know what? As a favor to VR streams, let's surprise them. Y'all don't mind a raid real quick and see what happens and see how they're gonna react. But yeah, because I am out of time for this. So let me take off the game capture. Oh wait, no, display capture. Oh, bloat my face up real quick. But we'll go do a raid and surprise them. They'll be like, "Holy crap! ultimacj surprised us." But I hope the stream came out okay. I'm still new with Twitch, still learning the bells and whistles. Hopefully my camera came in good. The recording went good. I mean, like OBS likes to be picky and won't see RPG Maker as a game, so I had to use display capture. So sorry if there was any disorientation, give or take. But I'll probably catch you tomorrow, kobolds, because I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. And sometime next week, like I'm probably supposed to be playing doing some recordings with David. And Sadie, if you're still there, since you are absolutely anxious for the voices, I'm amazed you didn't ask me even sooner. I didn't want to like bombard you with the voices. I'll send you the next set. She's probably anxious for that next gift card too. We'll see what happens there. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. Y'all, thanks for viewing. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. You guys are awesome. And once the beta test comes out, if you want to beta test it, especially if you're going to stream it, like Kobold Cultist or other people, let me know so I can advertise it and post it on my Facebook page. That way, hey, you're supporting me, let me support you, and let me know what day you're going to do it. That way I can be there to help to be part of the stream and guide you through it. So let's go ahead and do beg for your lines. Actually, Triple surprised me with those lines because at first I didn't think she was going to do it, but she did it, and she did a wonderful, lovely job. So, because I really wanted the Sakapist to have a voice, because like for that scene, I wanted, because that's still, like I said, of all the scenes I've wrote, that's still one of my favorite ones, or probably my top one, because it's just the humor, the cringe, it just flows all perfectly, and I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and rate her channel. Y'all can just VR streams is one of the ones I really like. They're a couple stream. They do all kinds of games, and they're pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and raid them. And next time, I'll see y'all next time in the next stream. So y'all enjoy what y'all do best. I have to get ready for work. Otherwise, they're going to yell at me, "Why are you late?" I'm like, well, it is what it is. So I will see you all later. Yeah, I can go get a watermelon. I'll take a picture of that and smash some watermelons for you. So I'll see you all later. Give VR streams a follow if you want to, because they are pretty cool. They do all kinds of cool stuff. They stream Tuesday through Thursday around 9:30 Central Time, because they're Pacific. So I'll see y'all later. Have a great night and enjoy what y'all do best. Thanks again for all the support.